It is halfway through the year, and I cannot believe that. And so I thought it would be a great idea to go over what has been working, what has not been working, and how I've been journaling for the first time, I think, consistently, and see how it has been going so far. So let's jump into it. Hi, friends, it's Mari from Mari Harai Archives, and I am so excited today to kind of talk about this because I just realized we are at the mid-year. I was thinking of doing this in July because I thought July was mid-year. And I'm like, wait, hold up. It's the 6th month. We are definitely mid-year. So I thought, okay, now is the time. And so I kind of wanted to talk about what has happened so far, how 6 months, give or take a week or so, of journaling has been for me in my Hobonichi weeks, and what items in my lineup that I started out with that I no longer feel like it's not working for me. And, there's a lot of things I'm learning about myself throughout this whole process. And like I had mentioned before, this is kind of the first time that I've actually been very consistent in my planning slash journaling since my work days. And just to kind of give you background, I've been retired since 2014. Well, if you put in like the businesses, technically about 2019 is when I was really like, okay, I'm done with the hustles, the side hustles, and I'm just ready to just like be okay with what I'm making and just kind of slowly learning how to be in this kind of slow life that I'm currently in. And also to kind of reflect on me trying to get back into the busyness of kind of work stuff, to keep my mind busy, and how that has affected me in this stage of life. It's really interesting, honestly. But anyways, first off, let's get into these journals and stuff like that. Okay, so this what you see is I have a Hobonichi Weeks here that I cut up to be my social media planner. My Hobonichi Weeks for my journal. I have an MD notebook for my recipes. This is an Archer and Olive pocket notebook for workouts. And then, of course, my lovely, most loved little notebook, the MD-A7, which is for like grocery lists and to-do lists and on the go that stays in my purse. So let's get into it. Let me put this aside so it's kind of like out of the way. And I kind of want to give like some honorable mentions and to kind of give you a glimpse of what's actually happening right now in the background. So I actually have a reference planner. I used my traveler's notebook. What is this? This is the Ace Hotel. And this is a very special traveler's notebook because this I got actually customized back in 2018, when Baumkuchen and the Superior Labor for the first time ever had their little customization event, and TSL actually came to California to actually do the customization themselves, which was super, super special. So at that time we were living in Utah, and so we flew for a day just to go to this event. And this is where me and my husband, so this is where I got all that customization done. And it's a really special traveler's notebook. And so yeah, this is what I was using to do my reference planner. Now, I am actually moving my reference planner into a ring system because as much as I love using this as a reference planner, there's so many like different information that's changing. And so I felt like having a rings planner is a little bit better because I can like take out paper and put in new paper and so forth. And so that's what's going to happen. And I've been working on my reference planner with our Patreon Haraya crew. So they've been kind of in the know of what's currently happening. And I'm actually transferring all this information into my Filofax mini planner, which I absolutely love. And so that is a project of mine that I am currently doing. It's not finished. It's taking a little bit longer than expected, but it's okay. So that's kind of what's happening with that. And then also, I still am using this MDA5 MD 1 day a page diary. This was a 20, let me see. It was, I think it was an older one. I want to say it's like a 2021. And so I've just ignored the dates, obviously, because the pages are not dated, just the monthly pages. And I actually, this is kind of like a running book that is more of like a dear diary for me. Like when I have like really big feelings and I just need to dish it out, this is where it will go. And honestly, I feel like there are some pages in here that I just want to kind of tear out and burn. Because yeah, there's some really big feelings here. And so this will stay in my lineup until I run out of pages. And I still have a lot. And so I don't want to go into these pages because yeah. But so this is, I'm still using this. And then I'm also using various traveler's notebooks for my junk journaling, which I have not been able to do like planned, but it's still there. It's on standby. I just have a lot going on right now with like the Etsy shop, and my goal, hopefully by the end of this year, that I will start junk journaling. I've been saving up things, and so these are on standby. I have 2 passport size traveler's notebook that I'll be using, and then I also have a standard size, which I have inserts that I actually started. Let me see if I have any pages. So I've already started kind of like junk journaling events and stuff like that. This is a lot older, but as you can see, yeah, I want to continue it, and I will continue it. I still have a few pages left in here in this actual insert, so I'm looking forward to actually completing an insert. I think the only insert that I've completed was my little insert that I have for my like shop packaging, like the shops that I shop at, and I always keep all their like stickers and postcards, and so I actually have that on. So this is what I'm going to use for that. And what I want to do is I'm just going to, you know, whenever the mood hits, I can always change these out, as I do have a few other traveler's notebooks that I can switch out if I do get bored with the color or with the setup. So that is what I'm using my traveler's notebook collection. And so far it's okay. I have been accepting the fact that I do love the traveler's notebooks, and I'm not using it as much as I would love to use it, but that's okay. And even if it's just a couple that I'm going to be using, and then just having other covers on standby when I feel like changing out, it's there. So that is what I have that for. Okay, now into my dailies. Now you guys know I have this A7 MD notebook. I have it housed in this mini agenda, Louis Vuitton mini agenda, which if you haven't seen my video about these mini agendas, I kind of went down a little rabbit hole of trying to find affordable ones. So I have different colors, and I think I accumulated 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 of them, which yeah. So I love this thing, and this is just my to-do list, my grocery list. I put like our menu plan in there, and I love this thing. So this stays in my purse, and whenever we do menu planning, this comes out, and I write our grocery list and anything that needs to be done. So that is in my lineup still. That's still working for me. And let me grab a sip of, this is just lemon water with apple cider vinegar. It's something that I drink every day. It helps me kind of detox. Okay, next up is this B6 size MD notebook. that I use for my recipes, any tried recipes that I've did throughout the year. And I love this little notebook. I've just ignored the dates. I have a video dedicated to this specific notebook and how I use it. I will link it in the cards or in the at the end of it. But basically, any recipes that we've tried this year or, the following years, as long as I have enough space, I log it in and then I input the the recipes in the back, and the ones that we actually make over and over and over again will actually make it into our heirloom recipe book. So this is still working for me. I still love it. And yeah, that is still in my lineup. Now, this right here, you guys might have seen it in my very first Techo Kaigi. This is an Archer and Olive notebook that I use for my workouts. And I actually went in and I drew out all the months and weeks for it. And it's a lovely notebook. I absolutely love how it turned out. And for the last, I think the first 2 or 3 months, I was keeping up with it. And as you can see, I just kind of wrote down, and I loved that. However, I think it was just too many things for me to upkeep. And so I actually stopped using it. And then I decided, I haven't stopped working out and moving and all that stuff, but I just haven't been logging it in. I think as far as I've been logging it in, it's been in my journal, just kind of writing a blurb, what I did. But any more detailed workout, I didn't write anything in it. And so recently I decided to come back to it. So I actually have a plan, and because I've just kind of been going with the flow. But my husband, who is my trainer, and he's like, you should write your stuff down so so you're just not kind of working on things that you shouldn't be working on. And yeah. And so I was like, okay, so I came back to this, and I haven't really upkept it. It's just been 1 week. And so I still don't know how I feel about it, if I'm going to continue doing this or if I'm just going to do this in my Hobonichi weeks. So this has been I took it off of the shelf, and it's back on my desk. So we'll see how it goes, but I don't know. I think I might just transfer this over to my Hobonichi weeks, or I don't know. I'm still on the fence. Yeah. I had the same dilemma when I was trying to decide what I'm going to do with this book. And I think the reason is because I did so much work on this notebook, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. So it's back on my desk. It's off the shelf. So we'll see where that goes. And then also, this is one of my daily things that I actually use. This is my Hobonichi weeks, and I will kind of flip it. I actually made a video of me cutting down a Hobonichi weeks and putting it in this perfect ring system that I found on Amazon. I absolutely love this. I actually have 2 more of these because just in case. I have one to hold my refills, and then one that I was going to use for my gardening, but that's another project that I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put that information, because I do have it in my reference planner. But okay, yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. But anyway, so I did cut it up and put it in this lovely just want to make sure I don't have anything rings planner that is the perfect size for it, as you can see. And so what I ended up doing was using some pamphlets from the Traveler's Notebook, just things that I really like, and just been using that. And this is what I use to plan out the videos for YouTube, for any social media, for any Etsy plans. All of that is going in here. And so this is still in my lineup, and I am still loving it. I just love this thing. So I absolutely love it. And I don't have any plans of changing this cover out, as I love how it looks. But if I do, I'll let you guys know, and I will update you guys. But so far, I am okay with what I've chosen, and I love how it looks. Okay, now This has been a constant in my lineup, and I am happy to report that I'm still in it. I still feel like in September I will be purchasing another Hobonichi Weeks. I mean, the Hobonichi Weeks has been in my life since 2018, and even though I've been on and off with the Hobonichi Weeks, I've always came back to the Hobonichi Weeks just because I love the size of it. I love the different sections of it that I use for journaling. And I think this year I've actually figured out, like, okay, this is how I'm going to use this Hobonichi Weeks, and this is how I can maximize me using it and staying in it and not having to have to purchase, because I used to purchase so many different journals and planners every single year. And I want to say that I'm hoping for 2026, I will only have to buy a Hobonichi Weeks, because I thought that was going to be 2025. But I did end up purchasing what did I purchase? I did purchase like 2 other journals to try out. And I'm not even using it. It's actually sitting on my shelf unused. Oh, here it is. It's the Techo. I had purchased this as my health and wellness tracker, and I just don't track. I just don't track. I have good intentions thinking like I can do X, Y, and Z, and I can track X, Y, and Z. But after like um if you hear noise in the background, excuse it, because I do have gamers in the house, so they're probably like screaming at their games. So just want to put that out there. Uh Sometimes it'd be scary, the things that come out of their mouth, like they're screaming. I'm like, people are gonna think something's happening in this house, but it's just gamers. Anyways, like I said, like I have good intentions, thinking I could track X, Y, and Z. I have so many different notebooks for different trackers, and I think that was my issue, is that I have loved so many different notebooks that I want to buy it, and so I have to make, I want to say an excuse, but have a reason to use it for. And so then I come up with these different tracking systems in my life that I think, oh, I'm just going to use this as this, but then I don't follow through. And that is the case for a lot of these notebooks. So my goal for 2026 is just sticking with the Hobonichi Weeks. That is the only thing that I'm going to purchase, and some, little bit of stationery to refill my stickers, because I love using stickers in my journaling. And that's pretty much it. That is my goal, and I'm hoping I can stick to it and that I don't get distracted by another pretty notebook. But I it makes me feel bad that I do have a lot of notebooks that throughout the years I haven't used, that are blank. And so I have plans for those paper, and I'm excited for those plans. So it's a process. So anyways, let's get into this Hobonichi Weeks and how I've been doing so far. Now, if you haven't seen my other videos, this is a traveler's notebook. It is a camel color that I actually cut down to fit a Hobonichi Weeks. And I absolutely love this thing. I love how I personalized it. When I first cut this down, the only personalization that I did was actually this little tab here that's actually a pen holder. There was a purpose for this, was a pen holder. Now, looking back, I wish I would have kind of brought it down just a little bit so the pen's not sticking out. So I don't really use this as a pen holder anymore. It's just there to look pretty, but it is functional. So that's that. And I did sew in this little brass plate from the Travelers Company, and I did sew a pocket on the front. And so recently I did add this M patch, which I love. I do have plans on adding another patch. I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, but I'm excited to see how this will transform year after year. All right, so getting into it, this is a pocket that I've sewn. So there's nothing really, anything in here. I don't really keep anything in these pockets, just maybe some pretty tags that I like. And then in the back, this is how I actually connect the Travelers or the Hobonichi weeks, I have this B6, I think it's MD book journal clip, and it's perfect because I can actually clip the back of the Hobonichi weeks onto this, and then it has that little book clip, right? And so I just kind of do this, and it's just perfect. And so this is how it looks in there. Now, before I had this idea to do it, what I did was I just had a paper, not a paper clip, but one of those, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of the clip. Is it a bulldog clip? And I would clip it there, and I had this little pocket to kind of hold on to the Hobonichi week so it wouldn't slide down, and that worked fine as well. But having this MD book clip really helped, and so I love that. And so I might have to, I have to find if there's other colors for this. I know there is, but anyways, let's get into this and how 6 months has worked for me. Okay, so what I did was, and you know what, this is actually the first time that I've actually really customized my Hobonichi weeks. I mean, in the past, I would put stickers here and there, but this time I really try to make it my own. And so this is the first time I've ever like stamped this first page. Usually it says Hobonichi on there. If you can see really closely, that's how it looks. And so I decided to kind of wallpaper it with my one of my favorite stamps, which is this right here. And yeah, and so I just kind of decorated it, and I loved how it turned out. So it makes me so happy every time I open this page. And I don't think I did it on the back. No, I didn't. So this is how it typically looks. So that's one difference that I did this year than I've ever did before. And so I will definitely continue to do that in my upcoming weeks. I will definitely decorate this portion of it because I think it's important to personalize your journals to how you like it. Next up, so I have this. Now, I did get this idea from Line Musings, and I think she got it from somebody else, but it was Months and Themes. And when I saw this, I thought it was perfect at the time because I had so many stickers, and it was my way to like start utilizing my stickers. I think that's what got the ball rolling with me utilizing my stickers. But now I don't use it that way. So now I just kind of use it as each month I just kind of stick on stickers that are my favorite, that just calls to me. And so far, this is what I've gotten so far. I have I have been loving the new peon stickers that she came out with the girls holding fruits and stuff like that. And I loved how it looked. And so that's the reason why that is there. And then on this page, this is actually the first time I've done it this year. Last year, I would only put maybe a sticker here, one or two here. But I loved what I did here. What I ended up doing here was just kind of, it's like a mood board for me. Like one of my favorite colors is blue. And I just love having different stickers. Just a second. I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. So what I loved about this time was because blue is one of my favorite colors, I kind of curated different stickers that I loved and how it looked, and I just stuck it on this page. And I love how this page looks. And again, another thing that I did differently this time than last time, and I don't know, it just makes a world of a difference when it comes, like the first 3 pages, like one, I love how that looks, makes me happy, this makes me happy, and this makes me happy. So we're on a good start. So I don't know if this is the reason. It could be, a little bit of why, like, I am just absolutely enjoying using the Hobonichi weeks more than I've ever did before. It's just these little things, right? Okay, if you go into this page, now I really wanted to kind of utilize each page and have a purpose for it. And at first I was keeping track of my period, but I actually do that on my phone. There's just some things that I like to do on a smartphone, just because it's just easier versus tracking on here. And so I stopped doing that, and then I started doing temperature tracking, and that kind of got, like, as lovely as that would look at the end of the year. I just couldn't upkeep. And again, I think it's because it's tracking. Like, I would love to be a tracker, but I just am not a tracker. I just am not. So I just abandoned this. Like, it's okay for it to be like this. Maybe I'll stick some stickers here. Maybe I'll just do that just to make it pretty. So that hasn't been doing anything. And then this page, I actually started with a reading log, and I haven't been able to read. I actually did pick up a book a couple weeks ago, but I only got a couple pages in. It's really, really hard for me to read, and it's due to mental things that are happening in my life. And excuse me. And so it's really hard for me to read. I'm trying, but it's really, really hard. But anyway, so it started out as a reading tracker. So that didn't work out. And so then I actually started using it as a workout tracker. But that didn't work out. And then I was going to do it as a finance tracker. Again, that didn't work out because I have a separate finance tracker. And so, yeah. And so this is where I'm trying to figure out if I should just go into tracking my workouts again in this area. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do, but I definitely hope I can make a decision by this weekend of what I'm going to do. So that is how it's been looking for the last 6 months. Okay, now we go into the monthly pages, and what I like to do for our monthly pages, usually in December, we put our Advent activities on here, which I still will do for December. I will probably just have to kind of half the box for Advent calendar activities and then our dinners, because that's what I'm using the monthlies for. But so last year I actually used it for movies that we've watched. I actually now have that in the back. And so this was kind of like the start of trying to figure out how I'm going to use the monthlies. And started in January, it was just strictly dinners. And so far, that's how it's been for the last 6 months. And I love using it as that. So as you can see, let's go into January. So this is how I've been using it. I've just been logging in our dinners that we actually have. Now, I know I had mentioned that we do menu planning, and the menu plan goes into this book, which is what we plan, but not necessarily what ends up happening, because sometimes we change it out, we switch things over. And so this is just a plan. The menu planning goes into here so we know what ingredients to purchase. And then this is actually what we end up eating. So I love seeing all our dinners. I never really done this before, and I'm glad I did, because I don't know, I feel like sometimes we eat certain meals over and over again, and I've learned that when you are doing things over and over again, you don't remember things, and it feels like time is so fast, because whenever we do the same things every single day, it feels like the time is just going and you don't remember things. And so it's those little different things that you do will cause you to kind of stop and like, ooh, I remember that time. And unfortunately, the ones that happens every single day or happens more often, they tend to be forgotten. And so I don't know, this is my way of putting substance to those days or to those meals or to those things that are forgotten. And just when I flip through these and I'm like, it's pretty cool. Like, we did eat dinner. I mean, has that ever happened to you where like you think back maybe like a year ago and you're like, did we even eat? I always say this whenever I think about high school. Like, did I even go to school? I don't even remember going to school. And that's because like it's the same thing over and over again. So all of that is gone. Like, I even asked my husband, I'm like, I don't even remember going to class. I don't even know if I did my subjects. Like, I don't remember anything, but that's because it happened every single day. And so that has like, it's almost like your brain has just made it disappear. And so having just this little thing of me putting down the dinners, like it it gives it some substance, like, okay, we did eat dinner. We did eat dinner in January, because I don't remember. But yeah, and so I can like go through here and just look at all the dinners we ate. And even if I don't ever look at it again, it's a book of what happens in my life in a year. And so it's pretty cool to see that, you know, on on February 3rd, I had chicken adobo, you know, and it was the best chicken adobo that I've ever made, ever, because I put it's the best yet. Because I feel like every time I make food, it gets better and better. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And so yeah, this is what I've been using for my monthly. And this is how it looks. And I have been upkeeping it. Now, May, if you haven't seen my last video of my check-in, May was a very, very, very busy month. And I just was not documenting. And there was no way for me to think back what we had. I still want to go back to our text messages, because I know there are a few text messages that I saw that we wrote down like what we had. And so I'm going to input that here. But as you can see, May, and you'll see in my journaling as well, May was a month that there wasn't a lot of documenting or journaling happening. And that's okay. It's life. And so as much as I want to like fill this in and just have it all be perfect, I just can't, because that's just not my life. And I want this to reflect my life in a year, you know. So, and it's not perfect, and it will never be perfect. My journaling will never be perfect. I want to say that I want to journal every single day, but I know that's not going to happen. And there'll be days or weeks that I'm going to have to back journal. And that's just the reality of it. So, but here we are in June, and I have been upkeeping our stuff. And so I'm glad that I'm back to documenting every single day. So yeah. And then if we go into, which is one of my favorite, well, I keep saying favorite, but I feel like the whole Hobonichi weeks is my favorite. Okay, if we go into the weeks, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but the January, February pages of the year after, because I always put that in the Hobonichi weeks, I actually use it as a little template of me trying to figure out how I want to use my boxes. If I want to test out how I want to write something in a box, I will do it here. I call it my layout testing. I also have a Hobonichi week specifically for that, but I like to do it in the specific Hobonichi weeks I'm in, because as we know, the paper differs now, and I'd like to know if my pen is going to bleed through, which leads to the next page, which I also do a pen testing on here as well to help me see if it will bleed or if it's good or not. So that is it. And I have like my writing samples and testing again, just to test it out. So I do have that in here, and I'll continue doing that in my next Hobonichi weeks. Okay, so this is where I absolutely love. I am so excited that this has worked for me. I love using stickers in my journaling. Well, I call this documenting. I have a section for journaling. I don't journal every single day because I don't know what to say. I'm not a very good writer. I just feel like sometimes I just say the same things over and over and over again. And so it isn't very fulfilling for me when I journal every single day. I'll journal when the mood hits, or, if there's something that I do want to say. And so that is what I do in the back pages. Now, documenting is what I love doing. It allows me to kind of, in a sense, give myself a little summary of what has happened every single day. But I use stickers to kind of what's the word, flex my creative muscle. Now, as much as I wish I was a very good drawer or an artist, I have to practice. I know I have a knack for it. I just haven't had the time to nurture that talent. And so I have loved stickers since I was a little girl, ever since Lisa Frank. I don't know about you guys, but in my school, in elementary schools, they'd have these little like bubblegum machines that held like stickers and erasers and pencils. And every single day I would ask my mom for a quarter, or I think it was like a nickel or a dime, just so I can get a new sticker every single day. And that has stayed true until now. And so I really enjoy documenting my day using stickers and just kind of lettering, because I love lettering as well. And so this has been a process, a learning process that I've enjoyed. And I'm just so happy that I finally found a way of documenting my life in a way that brings me joy. And in this case, it's stickers. And I've tried different styles before, and I have the journals to prove it. And I've actually had a video of showing all the different styles of journaling, documenting. And this has stuck with me. And then, like I said before, this is the very first time that I've actually have done it consistently on and off for those weeks in May and a little bit in April. I have back journaled a little bit, but compared to how I was before, this is the first time that I've actually been very consistent in my journaling, and I absolutely love it. I love the system that I've come up with, and let's just flip through to kind of look at the different weeks that has came out. And I love it. I love how chunky this notebook is turning into, and let me just kind of show you. It's chunking up. So I don't know how it's going to look by the end of the year, but I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure. And so let us go ahead and flip through all these weeks pages so you could kind of see. And interesting enough, when you look at the first time, I've been kind of straight in my boxes. And if I haven't mentioned, I do love a vertical layout, and I also have a video of me setting up my weeks, but it's super simple because I'm the type of person that if I have to draw a lot of things to set my journaling or my planner up, I'm not going to stick to it. And so I literally just do lines, and then I put the dates on here, and that's all I do. And that's as simple as I can go, to where I don't feel overwhelmed, to where I feel like it's not work. And so far I've tried different, and it'll show in my other pages. I've tried different layouts, and this has been my favorite and less work for me to stick with it. And so as you can see, as I was flipping through this before, I noticed in the first parts, I was really sticking in my boxes, but I slowly started kind of blending into the other boxes, kind of giving myself permission to be like, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect in the lines, and you'll see. So as you can see, like it's kind of just, straight, and then it slowly starts to just, it's just interesting to note that. So here we go. I always say like, oh, this week is my favorite, but then the next week becomes my favorite. I just love how all these pages comes out, from the different colors of ink that I decide to use, the different combinations, how I position my stickers. And as you can see, like I am starting to bleed through into the other ones and just kind of going with the flow. And I think with me in doing that, it turns into this like beautiful page. Like I am really not trying to be aesthetic. Like this is how I journal. This is how I do things. I don't do it for YouTube. I don't do it for Instagram. I do it for myself. And so just natural things flow. It to me, it looks beautiful. Like it was intentional, but honestly, it I just go with the flow, and it turns out to this, it looks beautiful to me. And then that's, for me, that is what's the most important thing. I am true to myself when it comes to journaling, and that I do it for myself. And I don't compare myself to anybody else, because there's a lot of people who just journal so beautifully, who, my eyes, I'm like, oh gosh, I wish I can draw like that. I wish I could just, make my page super beautiful with just my drawings and my handwriting, but that's just not the case. And and I have to be okay with it and just work with what I'm given. And in actuality, I love how it turned out. Even all the ugly bits that I think it's ugly. I don't, when I look back and I'm like, it's not ugly, you know. But all right, so we are in March. I love this color a lot. That came out really good. So this is March. We are coming into, and I actually surprisingly love this orange too. It's really beautiful. I love how it popped. We're coming into the last of March and into April. And as you can see, it kind of gets more messier and messier. And I think that's just me just kind of opening up and just, you know, being a little bit more freely with my creativity and not, you know, trying to be a certain way. Now, this is when I back journaled. It was hard for me to do it on a daily, so I ended up just doing highlights. And I do love how this came out, but I am not a fan of doing it this way. I don't like it this way, but I think it still came out really nice. But yeah. And then here is my thought process thinking that, okay, maybe next year I can just journal in a passport size. And so here's me trying to journal in a square space. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think I am fine with staying in my Hobonichi weeks the way it is. Like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And just continue using my passport size. Because my thought process is I really wanted to use my traveler's notebook because I have so much of it. But I'm just going to continue using it as a junk journal. And that is okay. So, plus I didn't really like how this turned out. I don't like the space. I prefer Hobonichi, like the way I usually do it. And here again, this is me back journaling. So you can tell the days that I back journal because it's not the vertical. But yeah, so this is okay. But again, I just don't like the layout of how I had to journal or document those days. It's not my favorite. So yeah. So this is April. And here we are in May. This is the first week of May where I was like, okay, I don't need to like skip these days or these weeks because it was so hard to get back into it. And so I came back into it. And as you can see, again, love this. I love documenting this way. I love it. And then of course, it was May, so I didn't document anything. And so I just kind of left it blank. At first I thought I was going to go ahead and just backfill this one, but you know what? I don't remember half of this stuff. I do remember some highlights. So this is a reason why you'll see different entries on a specific day of what happened. And if you haven't checked out my May check-in, you should check it out because this is what I was doing for that. So yeah, I mean, life happened and it's cool that I actually just left it as is. And here we are in June. And as you can see, I did not journal in the first weeks of June. Again, but I'm back into it. And here we are for that second week of June. When I see these pages, it just makes me so happy. I really do. I love utilizing all my stickers because again, I love stickers. And so I love how it turned out. And this is the current week and this is where we're at. It's so cute. I just absolutely love it. So I hope that you know, if you're documenting your days, I do hope you find a style that you really are drawn to because honestly, it's the best feeling. I would not have thought that I've been able to document for 6 weeks and to look back because I would see people who would finish a whole year and I get so jealous because I'm like, man, I wish I could do that. And here I am midway getting there. So worth it. Now, like I had mentioned that I don't journal every single day, but I do dedicate these back blank pages for journaling. And so these are basically me kind of taking the time if I want to expand on a thought or an event that I can, you know, journal about. And so that is what I've been doing. So I do have some January entries, but I closed it off because there's some personal information and personal pictures in there. And so I just kind of washi taped it because knowing me, if I didn't washi tape it, I would have turned to it and then it would have to blur it out for editing Mari to deal with it. But as you can see, there's a couple of January entries and I typically, on average, probably journal 2 to 3 times in a month, and you'll see. So here's February. I journaled 4 times, and this is how I journal sometimes. Like I said, I'm not a writer, but there are times that I want to expand on something, and then usually it's just a paragraph or two, me expanding on that thought, and that's how it looks, and I'm okay with that. That's how I journal. And then here's March. I think I journaled a few times. Yeah. So I average about 3 or 4 entries a month. And here's April. And actually in April, I actually journaled a lot more than normal. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 6 entries. And then for May, I actually did not journal at all for May. I ended up, and this is in my May check-in, I just ended up just kind of summarizing what happened in May. And so it's just 1 entry that I actually did in June. So yeah. So here's June. And we are on the 19th day, and I have yet to journal, and that's okay. I might do an entry or two so I could put something on here, because we had Father's Day, and then my husband's birthday is in June, so I definitely want to journal about that. So I will be putting that in. And then, yeah, so that is how 6 months of journaling looks like for me. And it is okay. I'm okay with that. I do have several pages, and I'm sure that'll last me for the rest of the year. Now, what I ended up doing for these last pages is there are like a few pages in the Hobonichi weeks that has like, it has like just different information that doesn't pertain to me, or I won't use it. And so what I ended up doing was I ended up pasting some gray paper on here, and this became my collections and favorites section. And so this right here, the My 100, it's basically, I keep track of our dates, our favorite songs, favorite books, and favorite movies each month. And so I try to update this as much as I can. But it's not something that I'm like, oh, if I don't update it, but this is what I absolutely love. This is a tracker of the movies that we watch for each month. And for January, February, we have March, we have April, we have May, and then June. All the movies that we have watched. And my goal is to take all these movies, and I actually want to junk journal that as well, because I have it's another project that's in the works that I'm trying to I will get there eventually, but I printed out all the movie posters, as you can see. Oh, and I will junk journal it. And like I said, it's a project that's going to happen. I hope to do it before the end of the year, but that's that. And so, yeah, I like to keep track of that. And that is pretty much it. Last is a little list of things, my stationery purchases that I want to get. Now, I've gotten pretty much everything except for the 2026 stuff that won't be available until September. But April was a huge month for me because it was my birthday, and I decided to kind of splurge on stationery. And so for September, my plans is just buying a Hobonichi Weeks and then replenishing any stickers that I want to get. And that's pretty much it. Like, I'm very proud of myself for coming this far when it comes to my documenting and journaling. And I just wanted to share where I'm at when it comes to the journaling. I still am journaling. I know I'm not I don't have a lot of videos that I'm kind of pushing out. I know when I first started, I was doing so many videos. But now, with our Etsy shop launching, and then we have our Patreon, and I did before, what's the word? I did film more in advance, but I think I prefer filming a little bit more presently, because when I do it too far in advance, sometimes it gets pushed back because there's other things that I want to film and show now. And so I just feel like this way I'm kind of more present on what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. And so with that being said, that's the reason why I've kind of went down to about once a week as far as my videos, because, I don't make videos just to make it. It's literally what is happening in my journaling life, in my stationary life. And so, yeah. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I absolutely love sharing what has, been going on in my journaling slash stationary life. And I'm excited for the future and how it's going to look. Our Etsy shop is launching very soon. So if you want to be in the know, head over to our Patreon. I do have a free membership if you want to kind of be in the know. The Harai crew is the one who will have exclusive first access to all the things that I'm doing first. And so if you'd like to join us over on Patreon, I do have a link in my bio for that. And I also, if you want to support my channel, I do have a YouTube membership that has exclusive emojis that you can use. And then you also have first view of all the videos that I put out on YouTube. You will have first access to those videos. So if you want to join and support the YouTube membership, it's also on the I'm pretty sure it'll pop up. It'll say join. So if you want to support our channel that way. But yeah, and also head over onto our Instagram. I try to post on Instagram, but I think I'm more like, when it comes to social media, it's so hard sometimes. So from now and then I will post on Instagram, but mostly I'll be here on YouTube and on our Patreon. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking through what has happened so far, what's working for me, what hasn't been working for me. It's a little bit chatty, but I absolutely am super excited about how it has gone so far with my journaling. It's the first for me. And so, yeah. But I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you guys have an amazing day. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye.